McKenzie, the old comedy team from the Great White North of the early 80s, I guess it was. They were on Saturday Night Live and things like that. But so I couldn't stop laughing, and I wondered whether any of these young reporters knew who Bob and Doug McKenzie were.
No. You know what it was? The NASA administrator had called them Bob and Doug, and it just kind of stuck after that.
Oh.
Right.
So was there a real Doug?
Yeah. Doug Hurley.
Okay, all right. So their real names are Bob and Doug. It wasn't that they was nicknamed Bob and Doug.
Yeah,
after
Robert,
the original Bob and Doug.
Robert Bacon. He goes by
Bob Bacon
Bob.
is a well-known name in Westfield. He has a Bacon something.
Everything's better with
No,
bacon.
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 No, BANKHAN. Banken.
Bankin, not bacon.
Correct.
Like I'm going to the bank and I'm going to make some bacon.
With an E.
Bacon.
Uh-huh.
And the other guy is Doug Hurley.
So now are they up there on the ship and everything? They got out and they got in?
They're in the International Space Station. They docked 15 hours afterwards, which, Bob, if you follow along, we also covered on Channel 15.
No.
Except we carried NASA coverage for that.
Well,
because we were on the road.
I recently discovered that on my Hulu, I have some kind of thing that says NASA launch coverage or something.
Why don't you watch ours on YouTube?
That real station that you can go on. I don't know what they do all day long, but well, what do they do all day long, Jay?
It's not like
they're
they
doing
go out
scientific
for
scientific experiments, business experiments. They conduct STEM classes with schools all over the country. I don't know. They do work, Bob. So they have a full-time job.
NASA.
They don't just sit there and float around.
No. I know that they're working very hard because we're going to be up there in space. We're going to go to Mars and we're going to live on Mars and not have to worry about anything, I suppose. And I was just wondering, though, the TV, do they have programs? I should go on
NASA
there
TV? Yes, they have different programming. They have programming from all eras. They have, matter of fact, I tuned in one day and I saw the Saturn V report, which are old documentary films about the progress of the Apollo program as they're building things. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
Now, don't get me wrong.
It was very cool.
Watching this rocket go was very, very cool, and it harkened back to the 60s. But there is still something about the Saturn V that beats every other darn rocket ship I've ever seen.
That's why I want to see a Falcon Heavy and then eventually the SLS.
Yeah, the Falcon Heavy is this same structure with more boosters around it, right?
Yeah, it is. But the SLS is very harkened back to the Saturn V. It's a very similar design.
Yeah. It was cool to see the thing go. But what I couldn't get over, and it didn't strike me until I saw the docking, the replay of the docking with the space station. You look at the nose cone of this thing, and there's a crooked line on it, and it bothered me the whole time that I was up there. And then I didn't realize that's a hatch that opens.
Wait a minute. Hold it. You just said that I was up there.
It was up there.
It was up there.
Like you were the astronaut.
Well, I've been part of the word astronaut in the past, but the first part. But
I won't ask.
We won't go there.
I won't ask. So this line was bothering you?
Well, it's I guess, what do they call it, Peter? It's
a nose cone.
The nose cone. It's
open.
a cap that literally hinges and opens to. It's a protective cap for the docking station at the front of the nose cone. When they dock.
It's an aerodynamic cap.
Yes. So it didn't strike me why that was a crooked line, and it bothered me the whole time it was sitting on the launch pad. And then all of a sudden I saw it when it was up, and they opened this little hatch, and I go, oh, well, that makes sense. So it was kind of cool. It's the aha moment, and I'm going, oh, okay.
Oh, gotcha. So now once they've reached once Bob and Doug are in the space station, then do they broadcast and you say, hello, here I am, like Bob is here, I'm in the space station.
No, they hung out and they waited for today because they wanted to watch us talk about them. So they're right now on the internet and they're watching Westfield TV. What are you shaking your head for, Peter?
No, I was going to look up. That was an old shake. That was an old man shake. I'm
Oh,
looking
by the
up.
way, I can't
It's
see.
called
I
an
can't see
involuntary
Mr.
spasm.
Coles. I can't see Mr. Plass.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
you
okay,
gave
I
me
need
the
to
wrong
reroute
feed
that.
in here. So
Oh
all
God!
I
When
hear
you're
is
sick,
all I
you're
do is
gonna
hear
go,
Mr.
oh
Plass.
my God! I'm going to pull into the camera. Look. Can you see?
Is that
Yeah.
better?
Can you see it? Can you see what's happening?
I see a
on my
blank
face?
screen now.
Oh, hold on.
So,
Oh.
I just threw Peter into a tizzy. By the way, Bob,
You've totally ignored the fact that I'm talking about my face.
there he is. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
He can now see you, Bob.
All right. Now take
Listen.
a good look. Look.
You're clean shaven.
Anything different?
Did you get Botox?
I think what he's working on, Peter, is getting good looking like me.
Jay
Honest
actually
to
got his head
God,
shaved.
It's
Or
reached
no?
a point. I am one step from Little Orphan Annie. Honest to God. I was gonna come in the curly look, but I managed to sort of give waves instead of the curly
The
look.
waves, huh?
And you notice how you see there's a mustache here and there's a beard here.
I'm impressed, Bob.
I said, I'm going whole hog, as they say in show business, and I'm going to grow a beard like my good friend JPEG Luca.
I'm impressed. You're getting good looking.
I don't know. I think I might get rid of it. I think I look like Nick Nolte after the arrest. You know, he had a picture of himself after. You know, that's who I look like.
Bob, when you start growing a beard, you always look like Nick Nolte.
I always look like Nick.
No, when you start growing a beard.
Anybody that starts growing a beard, Bob, not just you.
Okay. All right.
You're in phase one. It's called the Nolte phase.
I never knew there was an official term, but okay.
There is, and I just started it.
Look at these deep set eyes that are look.
Bob, do you realize your camera's not good enough for us to see that stuff?
Yeah. So
I'm
the
going to
good
buy
news is
I'm going to buy a new HP thing here
A
for
new laptop?
our shows. If Jim Quinn, who's coming on at
He looks good.
8:00 or 6:45.
yeah, he has a good camera shot.
Yeah, he does have a good camera built in.
He's got a very good camera. I'm going to find out what that is. I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to be beautiful on television.
It's probably built into his laptop.
What do you mean?
It's probably built into his laptop. Buy a new laptop with a headphone and a microphone jack. Then I can hook you up. You'll be all set.
You do know that a great
Or even
camera doesn't make everyone beautiful, right? So
Jay, you got a point there.
Just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a good camera here, far from beautiful. So yeah, don't worry about that. Okay.
I look sort of like Lucille Ball. You know, when she did the movie Mame, she was like 85 years old or something. And the character was supposed to be 35, 40, 45, you know.
Yeah.
And they had a filter on the camera that sort of you could see that it was Lucille Ball, but you couldn't see anything else. I mean, so I've got the Lucille Ball filter for the Nick Nolte face.
All right, we'll go with that. Hey, listen, reviewing all of our concerts and stuff this summer, I got a note this week from the folks at WOW that officially the August show has been canceled, our August show on the Green. And while I'm sad that we've lost our summer concert series, I understand, and we are looking forward and looking outward to next year. So that's going to be happening. It's not like the series is definitely is dead forever. We're just going to, like so many other music and concert events and gatherings this summer, it's just been postponed.
I'm holding you to that it's not going to go away because a lot of things are not coming back.
Well, we're going to take 2020, and I had this discussion at the Real Job yesterday as we're reviewing performance and stuff. We're going to take 2020 and make like it never happened. We're going to go 2019, 2021. 2020 will just kind of, it's going to have the big asterisk next to it.
Oh, by the way, on my trip to Florida, that state is nearly wide open. All the beaches are open. The restaurants are open at half capacity, both inside and out. There's no face mask requirement in Florida, and the only requirement
you can carry a gun if you wish.
You could do that in this state too.
All right, go on.
I love when he does that, and I just slap him down. And their cases are not rising. They're not.
It's probably because of the heat. Number one.
I get that, Bob, but remember they said 2 months ago, if you remember, the heat wasn't going to affect this virus. It wasn't going to go down in the summertime.
But it was always hot in Florida.
It was always yes, it was always.
And their death rate is per capita is less than this state, where we all huddled together and everybody got sick.
Yeah, and we may be
just two different philosophies. That's all.
Yeah, no, I know, and but you still have to err ERR on the side of caution.
Is it air or?
It was just weird coming back
as
we transitioned to states, Ken and I.
Hey, English.
The fact that it started wide open in the southern states, and the further north you got, the worse it got. Like, we were trying to find a restaurant for dinner, and if you want to eat in your car, you could, and that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a story about doing things in your car, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Thank God we got a good breakfast in Florida.
He's going back to his.
So Bob, 20 hours in the car with Ken Stomsky.
Yeah, well, that's part of where I was going. Yeah.
What was that like?
I survived.
Oh my gosh!
We started at 8:00 in the morning, stopped an hour for breakfast, and got in at 4:00 the next morning.
Oh my God!
That was yesterday.
God. I don't know whether I could have done that. I would have. You would probably hated me if we were driving in a car today, because I made 2 nights ago. I made another pork dish with sauerkraut and potatoes and carrots and.
Bob, we had a moonroof that would open wide open, so I know how to evacuate all the air quite quickly.
Oh. In the middle of the night, I could have lit the city of Pittsburgh. That's how bad the gas was.
That's how Kenny was the night we had to share a room in the bed and breakfast. There was a day bed in one room, and the bed in the other one, and all I heard was.
Oh no! Oh please, not this.
Kenny had Mexican.
This is way too early.
We had Mexican.
For that.
Oh, you had Mexican.
Yes.
This is way too. This is the two of them having dinner, going, "Yeah, you're eating that. Well, I'm ordering this."
Actually, we were lucky. Right out front of our bed and breakfast was a Cuban Mexican restaurant that was one of the best in the area. The food was excellent. And then the next night we found a soul food restaurant right down the street.
Mm-hmm.
That was good too.
All right, I'm going to change the subject again, so that we're going to talk about this after the break. But we're going to talk about other things you can do in your car.
I got the Wisconsin song for us from our music director there, and it's a person who I know through jazz. His name is Bill Frisell. You ever heard of Bill Frisell? Frissell. Bill Frisell? No. Never heard, boys?
Never heard of it.
No. Okay. He is an incredible guitarist, and this is from one of his albums that is, I think, is called the same thing. It's called it's a poem, and it's a poem for a woman who I have a poem for somebody. It's not me. It's not Bob and Doug.
Actually, my next door neighbor growing up, that was her name.
Bob
Eva.
and Doug?
Yeah, Eva.
Eva. Oh, no, this is Poem for Eva.
I know, that was her name, Eva.
Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely song, and I think it gets the morning started. You know, today's a hard one, and we'll talk about it later in the hour, but it's hard to broadcast in a day when America is so sad. So this is Poem for Eva.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, June 2nd, 2020 and counting.
Is that
and
what
it's
it is?
Live from West Silver Street and live from Westfield Technical Academy. The man to my left is not Santa Claus. He looks really handsome, and you got a haircut.
I got all of them cut. Just
really?
On a whim, yesterday, I went down to my local little hair salon, barber, whatever they call it now. And they had this very nice little thing. You can check in advance, so you know how long. You get a general idea when you can show up, and they're ready for you. And they set you down and do a little clip. And I look less like a hippie today.
Wow.
Okay.
So I could try this with mine. Now, did you wear a mask during the thing, and was he masked and shielded as well?
Yes, we were all masked and shielded. And it was nice because all of their waiting room chairs were just all out on the little sidewalk. So it was it was kind of cool. If you did get there and you had to wait, you could sit outside. Now, that had me thinking that I hope this is over by winter time. But, then you can put those heaters out there with the tall fire thing going.
But the plague will be back by then.
Yeah, we can work on stuff like that. Hey, listen, I alluded to the fact that although the concerts, where there are large gatherings of people, have been canceled. We've been working in the background on a couple of things, and the first one was just confirmed last night. Been working with Bill Parks and the Boys and Girls Club, Bo Sullivan, and all of the great people there, and also got permission from all of the people in the city to do this. We're going to have a drive-in movie in the big field behind the Boys and Girls Club. So
love it.
That's going to happen.
That's where I
in
walked
fact,
Frankie.
we're hoping to have 3 of them. And in each of the months of June, July, and August, it'll be family fare since it's the Boys and Girls Club. We really wanted to do something that would cater to families, and the drive-in movie. And Bill and I are talking about, well, gee, it'd be great nostalgia for the parents and something unique for the kids. And then all of a sudden, it struck us that, well, it's great nostalgia for people, Bill and my age, and maybe you, Bob, but parents of kids today may not remember. I don't know.
All it took is the bubonic plague to bring back the 50s.
Yeah. So yes, we're going to have a drive-in movie, and I don't want to say the title yet because it's going to be family fare, likely a Disney, a recent Disney title, and
well, you have to license it. You have to license it.
Everything's getting taken care of.
I asked Bo if we could, if it was a sellout, if we could, at that point, if it became a sellout, we could broadcast it on Channel 15. And he's checking into that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It has to be sold out, just like like the Patriots game back in the day.
Yeah, you had.
If it didn't sell out, you couldn't watch it on TV.
Yeah. So, there are permissions you have to get, and there's fees you have to pay, and so
sure.
And there's all of that.
So tell me, the area. This is where we used to do Westfield and Weekends used to do Snowfire, and I walk Frankie every day back there because nobody walks back there. There's a sign that says no dogs allowed. But I figured that
Bob has special permission. I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's back
Bob
there,
is
and
not
so-
quarantining properly. I'm calling the cops.
It's
Yeah,
not.
yes,
It's
exactly,
not.
yes.
It's
So-
not a dog. It's Frankie, and he's walking Bob. I've seen
Yeah,
it happen.
that's exactly right. And when
I
he
understand
poops,
that.
I pick it up. Believe me, I pick it up. And I pick it up maybe twice on a walk, given Frankie's disposition lately. So at any rate, Jay, how will the cars? It's a strange situation.
No, it's going to be very well organized.
Yeah.
We're already working with the police department to work on routes in and out.
Right.
And we can put at least 300 cars back there, safely distanced. Imagine the screen is on the back wall of the Boys and Girls Club. The gym is back there,
Oh,
so you
so
get the big
facing
tall
that
wall.
way.
You remember where the bicycle was when we did
Sure.
first night, and on that wall. We'll have a big blow-up screen, a big 40-foot screen they bring in, and there's a company that does this, so we're working with that company to do this, and we've actually got some funding from some folks around here, so it's part of this is going to be paid for, and hopefully all of it, and minimal or no fee to get into this thing. So it's really going to be cool. We do ask that people are going to sign up in advance, and we're working those logistics. The info will be on the Boys and Girls Club website.
Right.
But
Are you allowing 17 people in a car? How is that going to work?
Well, if you can fit 17 people in a smart car, yeah.
Well, I'm
going to
call the Shriners Clowns.
Yeah,
and,
the
see.
clown car. So,
Yeah.
well, but imagine a parking lot, but every other space holds a car. So
I
now
see.
your cars are about 10 feet apart.
That's
and
exactly right.
you can get out and sit in front of your car. You have the little folding chairs, and you can come out and set them up in front of the cars. And this company will also broadcast a very low power FM frequency, so you can listen to the movie from your car radio. It's really, really cool.
How great is this? Well, thank you and the Boys and Girls Club and whoever put this together. That's wonderful. Wonderful.
Technical assistance by Gaslight Entertainment. We'll leave it
wonderful.
at that.
Well, maybe we can work together for our something around Pumpkin Fest, because we're thinking of how we're going to do Pumpkin Fest in a different way this year, and that might be a possibility for all we know. But let's talk, my friend. How about that?
We can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it is 6:31 in the morning. The person that puts the man who puts the bon in the bon vivant is coming on at, Jim Quinn is coming back. Yeah. A month ago, I had my college roommate on. He's very funny and well-read and well-educated, etc. And he's coming from his cottage in Kent, and we're going to talk cocktails today. So I set up a bar. Can you see the bar back here? I turned the light off. Yeah, I got a bar.
I saw something sparkling back there, Bob. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
Very nice.
That's coming off of the Bombay gin bottle. We're going to talk, but he's coming on at 6:45. So Peter, I don't know if he knows how to get on Zoom.
It was the same as last time, but I'm resending it to him now.
Oh, you are so good. Meanwhile, folks, I'm reading a wonderful book. You might not want to read it, but it's called The Man That Got Away. That's the story of my life, actually. But The Man That Got Away, it's the songs and the life of Harold Arlen, who, unlike Gershwin and Irving Berlin and Richard Rodgers, is a really unknown writer who's written, or composer, who's written so many of the songs that we sing all of the time. And it's just a fabulous read. He wrote The Wizard of Oz, Over the Rainbow, all of that. And so I'm going to play one of his songs. And this is Michael Bublé's live at Radio City Music Hall. And I don't know, you know this song, Jay. Do you know I've Got the World on a String?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger.
Yeah, that's the
what
one.
What a world, what a life, I'm in love.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay,
Play
so
the
this
song.
is Bublé's version of what I just mangled.
this out now. Watch these boys sing for real. Let's go, boys. I've got the world on a string, and I'm sitting on a rainbow. I've got that string around my finger. Oh, what a world and what a life. I am in love. I've got a song that I sing, and I can make that rain go. Anytime I move my finger, I'm lucky me. Can't you see that I'm in love? Life's a wonderful thing. As long as I've got that string, I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let her go. I've got the world on a string, I'm sitting on a rainbow. Now I got that string around my finger. Oh, what a world and what a life. Now I'm in. Life's a wonderful thing. As long as I've got that string, I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let her go. I've got the world on a string, and I'm sitting on a rainbow. No, I got that string around my finger. Oh, what a world and what a life. Oh, what a world and what a life. Oh, what a world, what a life. 'Cause I'm in love. Yes, I'm in love. And what a wonderful thing. Or when you get the world on a string. Thank you.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Well, it is Tuesday morning, June 2nd, 2020 and counting, and I am here. I'm Bob Plass. This is the Westfield on Weekend show, westfieldonweekends.com. The Facebook of Westfield on Weekends has all kinds of interesting announcements via Heidi Whalen, our trustee web person, who gets out all this great information about Westfield and what's happening, and she's been doing a bang-up job. So if you want to sign up as a member of Westfield on Weekends Facebook page, you'll get notices about what's happening and what restaurants, etc., to go to and what other things are happening. in Westfield, and we appreciate all the work that Heidi Whalen does. And we're hoping to bring back Westfield Creative Arts at 105 Elm Street in the fall at a very safe distance. So look forward to that kind of information. And you can learn how to paint, photograph, cook, etc., in a small class, safe class with great teachers. And that'll be hopefully happening soon. And that's that. But over there is Jay.
Yeah,
Yes,
I kind of like the fact that we're kind of spilling outside the buildings downtown. You know, as this is happening, I think more people are doing more things out on the sidewalks in front of their businesses. That's got to happen in order to make this attractive. So you're walking down the sidewalk and you can see more of what that business is without having to go into a small space.
That's exactly right. I mean, learning how to maneuver in this world of virus and riots, et cetera, it's very, very difficult. And I think those questions about whether we can leave the house and whether we should leave the house, especially for seniors, that's the hard one for us. My friends.
Bob, we're locking you down forever.
Yeah. Locking me down, hose me down.
You can stay in the gulag forever.
The gulag, yes.
Yes. Our good friend Denny Akins got married.
I saw that.
Yeah. Denny and Michael got hitched down in Rehoboth Beach. It was a very quiet 2-person wedding, and then they let the world know, and all hell broke loose. And yeah. And
they better have some kind of a party up here.
We're going to have something, but our breakfast club.
Although if you have it in Maryland, it wouldn't be as bad. You could probably have a party of more than 25 people.
No. The problem is that Dennis and Michael's circle, close circle, are older folks. And given that they were traveling, et cetera, our friend Joanne Taylor wanted to have a get-together in her smaller backyard. And a couple of us, including Dennis and Michael in particularly, said, no, we're going to wait until, because even a small space with all of us seniors, it's not such a good idea. And he is a younger man who goes to work and sees 70 employees down at the American Woolens. He's a financial officer there. And so he sees the American Woolens folks down there. So he's seeing 70 people outside of our circle every day. So we decided to postpone the celebration, but we love the idea that we got 2 more people, Jay, in the world of marriage.
Well, you know, maybe like 2020 has just been postponed to 2021. We'll just do it at the first anniversary, have a hell of a party. That's all.
That's what they feel as well. So yeah.
And you need the band, the stage, and we'll take care of that. Okay, we'll set them up. Just let them know, what kind of music do they want. We'll bring this along.
I love that. Oh my God, yes, yeah. Maybe we could do a festival, a virtual festival on television.
Well, a year from now, I hope the heck it's not. Doesn't have
please,
to be
God,
virtual.
Yes.
By the
my
way,
God, yes.
As I'm listening to Michael Bublé and that big band sound, I forgot how much I love that stuff. And and I appreciate you putting that on the air here, because I'm an old rock and roller from the 60s and 70s, and I shunned that back in the day. But I have renewed my love of all music and big band and that style. He's got a Frank Sinatra style about him.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I thought he was a Frank Sinatra ripoff in the beginning, but he's so much more talented than Frank Sinatra because he can play musical instruments and he writes music as well.
Sinatra didn't have to play music.
No, that's very true.
All he had to do was sing. You don't mess with my Sinatra.
No,
hey.
All right, okay, you're right. I'm going to play a song. He actually conducts Peggy Lee in the second hour, in a version of a great Harold Arlen tune that we're going to play. So you stay tuned for that. You'll hear You'll see him conducting. No, you won't see him conducting. I'll conduct for him. Hey, I wanted just to say that, when I was watching Kelly and Ryan yesterday, Kelly and Regis.
By the way, I caught one of those. I caught some of those in the background whilst I was working down there because I, had a TV in the room.
Oh, yeah, great.
That is just the worst programming ever.
Oh my God, no.
Bob, you're far more entertaining than they are.
Well, I don't know about that, but
no, you are.
They're
trust
my
me,
heroes.
You are. Okay. Well, you do a better job than they do.
And you keep calling him Regis. So,
I'd rather see, honestly, Kelly with her husband. He's more entertaining than that. He's basically just an empty suit of skin. Ryan Seacrest. He is horrible.
Are you kidding me? That is not.
His jokes are horrible. I just want to go out. I want to run into
horrible.
Not, but at least we can laugh about it. His jokes, you want to run into a wall.
All right, everyone. I am a Ryan Seacrest super fan. So there.
Well, you know what, Bob? I think you're better than he is.
Oh, you're so nice. I'm not. I wish I were his age and I had his money. That would be the two things that I would like.
Well, how do we do that, Bob? I can't figure that out. We've been here on the air now for 6 years.
No big channel has picked us up.
Huh? No, nobody.
Bob doesn't do any marketing. That doesn't help either.
We've got to get some network support here, right?
Bob marketed himself for like 2 weeks, and that was it.
Well, no, I'm going to do it again. I'll start to do it. I'm trying, but for some reason, I'm up and down in this. I'm an emotional roller coaster, and I was telling Jim Quinn yesterday in a call that I was really tearful yesterday watching the riots in throughout the country, and so I found a poem, and I just want to read this, and then we'll play a song, and then we'll bring Jim Quinn on, and we look forward to that right after this. Bring the show a little bit down, and then we'll bring it back up, but not down, but. What I really want to say is that in this world of coronavirus, we really didn't need the deaths of Floyd, and I wanted to read this poem, George Floyd. I wanted to read this poem. It's great. And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised, made art, and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when danger passed, and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new images and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully as they had been healed. And I kept thinking that as a social worker, I really think that what we've got to do is listen. Listen actively. Active listening is when you listen beyond the sound. Listen to the hearts and the minds of Black Americans, Brown Americans, anyone of difference, and know the heartache and allow them to have their moment and for us to work together, not photo opportunities, not any kind of domination. We have the right to speak out. We have the right to protest. We have the right to get America back to where it should be. And I found a song that I thought was really appropriate, given that it's also Stephen Sondheim's 90th birthday. He wrote this for a musical called Into the Woods, and it's a song called No More. And I want everyone to really listen actively to the words of this song. And it's sort of a desperation kind of thing in a way. But the words themselves really mean a lot. We really have to make what's happening throughout our country. No more. So this is Stephen Sondheim's No More. Perfect
no
for
more
today.
questions, please. No more tests. Comes the day you say what for, please. No more.
They disappoint, they disappear, they die, but they don't.
What?
They disappoint, in turn I fear, forgive though they won't.
No more riddles. No more jests. No more curses you can't undo, left by fathers you never knew. No more quests. No more feelings. Time to shut the door. Just no more.
Running away, let's do it. Free from the ties that bind. No more despair or burdens to bear out there yonder. Running away, go to it. Where did you have in mind? Have to take care, unless there's a where. You'll only be wandering blind. Just more questions, different kind. Where are we to go? Where are we ever to go? Running away, we'll do it. Why sit around resigned? Trouble is, son, the farther you run, the more you feel undefined. For what you have left undone, and more, what you've left behind. We disappoint, we leave a mess, we die but we don't.
We disappoint, in turn I guess, forget though we won't. Like father, like son. No more giants waging war. Can't we just pursue our lives with our children and our wives till that happy day arrives? How do you ignore all the witches, all the curses, all the wolves, all the lies, the false hopes, the goodbyes, the reverses, all the wondering what even worse is still in store? All the children, all the giants, no more.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com. offering Xfinity TV, internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at xfinity.com.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England. Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, June 2nd, 2020 and counting. And it's happened. I invited him back. Yeah. There he is.
Good morning, Mr. Quinn.
James Quinn from
muted.
Kent, Connecticut.
Yeah, he's muted. You got to unmute. I'll unmute him. Hold on.
System? James.
I'll unmute him.
Oh, you're going to unmute him?
Yes, I think I can.
Wait a minute. You got to be unmuted, Jim.
No, hold on. I'll do it.
No.
He's going to do it.
Your producer is doing it for you.
No, he can do it.
All right, he's doing it. Oh, look at that lovely shirt he's wearing, and look at that bar in the back. Jay,
it's down the bottom, Jim, bottom left.
Yeah.
Little microphone symbol. You just got to hit the mute.
Did you see the producer in the mirror there? Yeah. His technical producer is coming. He's going to take care of this.
There we go.
How's that sound?
Yeah, there you go. You're
very,
there.
Very good. Huh?
Yep.
Are you hearing?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear those dulcet tones. Yes. With the bird song in the background, it's lifting my heart, Bob. Good day, you gentlemen. It's good to be with you. Remnants of me, whatever. Good to see you.
Yes. Nice to see you too.
Yeah, and what I've been noticing as we're watching more and more programming with all the little windows in the screen, everybody's at their own home. It's just, I'm looking past the talent and at the background in their what's their home.
You voyeur, you
or what's around.
Oh, I do
them.
the same thing.
And I'm beginning to realize I'm a little wanting in my background. It's not quite as cool as yours. You have entertainment hardware and beverages behind you.
Yes. I'm in the dining room and the beginning of the drinking room. We drink in every room here. But the bar, which for this little weekend place used to be in a closet for the times that we rented, so that those stranger guests couldn't get at it. I brought it all out, and it's there every day, and we're using it every day.
Good for you, Jim.
So, there's a sampling of our wares.
Do you
Cheers.
like? I moved. I went into the other room, and we don't really have a bar. We have it hidden. You know, I live with James Homan. You know, so. I have it hidden. Yes.
What are you saying, Bob?
No. But if you'll notice, I have more gin. I have every kind of gin that ever was, and then I've got bottles of stuff like I've got bourbon whiskey. I mean, everybody brings me something when they come to dinner or whatever.
Because you look like you need
most
it,
of the
Bob.
time it's wine. Huh?
That
you
is
look
a
like you
custom
need
to
it.
get your friends to be in all of the time. You've got to train them to do that, but yes, and you take it, right?
Yeah. And so consequently, I have
mother's milk to me.
Oh, yeah. I actually even have. I got. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is
the heavy one.
This is a mother load of Mount Gay rum.
Rum, yes, I could see from here.
I've been there. Yeah. That's Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Puerto Rico.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, first, now I really don't drink rum drinks, but maybe you can help me here. Do you have a rum? Look.
Yes, I'm right now enjoying the Amber Mount Gay rum. But please, you don't think that island is Puerto Rico. You have traveled somewhat, haven't you?
Who? Yeah. Oh, is it Puerto Rico that makes Mount Gay rum?
That's what Jay said.
Buddy.
Barbados. You would think that I would know where Mount Gay was.
we'll skip right over that, okay?
Thank you.
Bob, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I found myself using this. We had some cider, apple cider, in the refrigerator, and I've become a great fan of ginger beer. Have you?
Ginger beer. I love ginger beer.
You know, in a dark and stormy or something.
Yeah.
You know, the darker rum. But I took a big glug of apple cider, put a couple of glugs of this in, and a little bit of I love the Q tonic, the Q tonic or the Q ginger beer.
What is that?
That stirred it up. It's nice with a little ginger liqueur, like Canton ginger or any of those stirring gingers. That's our latest summer concoction for the rum. Anyway.
Have you named it at all?
No. Would you like to name it?
Jay. Okay. So it has apples and rum in it. And what's the other little thing?
Ginger.
Oh, apples, rum.
Let's
and
call it
ginger.
the apple of Bob's eye.
Oh, Bob's apple.
No, the apple of Bob's eye.
No, you want to. No,
Means
I'm going to have Bob's apple. Huh?
Please put your entry on a postcard. Send to Box 91, Kent, Connecticut, and we will have we'll discuss this.
All right. Okay. Hey, speaking of Kent, Connecticut, James, how's it going down there in the wilds of Northwest Connecticut? In your little cottage there with the bar. How's life with you and your spouse? Is that the reaction? Is
this a setup or something?
I'm not sure that was the reaction we expected.
I know.
Well, let me say that this morning, as I looked over at Michael with his Bronco Nagurski nose strip that will perhaps, soften or muffle the snores, they weren't doing it. And I had a few thoughts about sleep apnea, how sometimes people, and they forget, and some people have little machines.
Yes.
Where, you didn't take a breath, wake up. And I thought, he's in the kitchen now.
Oh, good. This is the time to talk.
I thought, well, if it ever got to that, and I was awake and I was noticing that the apnea kicked in and whatever didn't kick in, could I be persecuted? Could I be prosecuted for, if he just stopped breathing? And I knew that I could get him to breathe again by a little gentle poke, but I didn't. Oh dear, I've gone and spoiled the whole thing now, haven't I?
Wait a minute. So
things are great. Things are just well.
Do you hover over when you hear there's no breathing coming? Because James he's got the machine, he just doesn't want to use it, and I can't get him to use it because of his sleep apnea. And
maybe he'll stop breathing.
I'm not sure that's the cure we were looking for, Jim.
Could we take it up on charges? No, Jim, but are we taken up on charges? If indeed, are we responsible for our spouse's lack of breath?
If you know willingly and you fail to act it, you could get charged, yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Quietly leave the room.
Listen, I worked in a police department for 13 years. I had to learn all that because same thing applied if I walked down the street and somebody dropped of a heart attack and I was trained and didn't do anything, you can be held liable for that.
Oh, gosh. Well, okay. So you mean you can be held liable if you don't perform CPR or something?
If you're trained, yeah. If you're a first responder and you're trained and somebody finds out and points that out, yes, you can be charged with their failure to act. Absolutely.
Second nature to you, Bob. The Brotherhood of Man. Listen to the song you were playing this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. We help our fellow man.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So, but there does come that moment when I hover around the body and I go, oh my God, I think he's dead. And then I think, oh my God, and I should be going like screaming like in the movies or something. And then he gives another one of those snores scares the hell out of me, and then I roll over.
It would take Bob a whole minute to call 911 because the drama would have to eke out of him first.
Yes,
If
sir.
this were a classroom right now, I'd ask if I might be excused.
A little macabre in the morning.
How's the weather down there?
Dark this morning, guys.
Yeah. Jim, what do you? Is it a beautiful day down there? The sun is out here. Is it nice, or do you look outside?
Oh, I position myself against the wall, but I have all of. If I open the door here, you'll hear the birds knocking out a melody. It's wild. It just really is. I should do that for you later. Yeah, there's parrots, there's woodpeckers, there's chickadees. We now know exactly what a cardinal sounds like, and they are the only bird whose nests do not contain mud. Oh, I'm learning every day.
No, you're kidding me.
I didn't know that either.
I heard
a fine geometric system of sticks put together, balanced.
Sort of like a Jenga, like Jenga, the game or whatever.
That's like Jenga. Yeah, that's what we call it when we're packing our car, just like Jenga.
So the woodpecker also, I heard this, and maybe you can confirm that the woodpecker, that pecking sound that you hear, that doop boop boop boom, you think somebody's knocking on your door, is actually a mating call.
A mating call. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we call our guy out here Calypso Pete. He's looking for all the missed woodpeckers around.
Oh, you.
I'm gonna not touch that any further.
No.
And he's got his pecker, and he's out for business.
Yeah, that's right. That woodpecker is really out for, but I've got the same one up here. Maybe we could hook them up together for all we know. I also wanted, do you have the mourning dove version, which I always thought was an owl? Have you heard the mourning doves, Jay? You've heard the mourning doves.
Yeah, yes. And you're right. I thought it was an owl as well.
Yeah. I can do it. It sounds like somebody, listen to this. Whoo, whoo, whoo.
No, that's an owl.
It's that's yes, what?
Bob, have you ever heard the definition of a man with manners? It's a man who can play the bagpipes but doesn't.
Sounds just like a guy that can.
I love
Bob,
it. Yeah.
I can do it. And then I thought, oh, dear God, he's going to do it. No, he can't do it. I think we're going to hear him do it. I thought he might save us that, but why, thank you, ornithological Bob.
We're all interested in birds, and a bird flew into my TV room. I told you about this. A bird flew into my TV room, a baby bird. Yeah. I don't know how it got in, and it was sitting there. Huh?
How did it get out? That's the more important part right now.
I decided, James said, put some gloves on because they're going to smell man on other birds are going to smell man on this bird and kill it. So I put gloves on and I took the bird. I got on the little step thing. I got the bird and I brought it out. And then it's a baby bird, so it's doing one of those neck things. Oh Jesus! Oh, excuse me. I just I almost put myself out there. So
that would have been funny.
It would be a mercy.
You might be held responsible for that. At any rate, yeah. So I took it outside and I said, I'm feeling like a mother bird this is going to be the baby's first flight. And I flew, I sort of gave it a little nudge and it flew and it landed. And then I watched it for about 10 minutes and then I got bored. And I left and it's
Squirrel.
No longer there. So
and the neighbor's cat got it.
At any rate. Hey, we have to take a break.
Wow, life is getting slow in our 70s, isn't it?
Oh,
we're mothering birds now.
No, it's exactly right. And I'm growing a beard just like you. Look at this beard.
Yeah.
Do you remember me from the 70s or the 60s when I had that curly hair? Look at this.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
look at that.
I was
nice
starting to
flip.
look like my high school yearbook in the 70s.
Yeah,
so it wasn't pretty.
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I can't leave you said this to me yesterday, Jim. You were saying you don't really have to care about how you look from the nose down. And so I realized I could go out and people would never know I had a beard with my mask on.
Oh, with the mask on. Yeah, we are
Yeah.
mask-free this morning, aren't we?
You don't have to shave. You don't have to do anything. You just put that mask on and you go right out. It saves a lot of hygiene
And
stuff.
right now,
moments.
doing this little gig with you,
What is it?
you have no idea. Yellow and red stripes. Wait, let me stand up.
No. Oh, well, I'm a complete person. Oh, what are you wearing there? What is that on your shoes?
Nothing.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? All right. So, hey, before we go to break, I got to mention that Mount Gay rum is from Barbados, not Puerto Rico. So I stand corrected. So my fact checkers were correcting me.
Oh, all right.
Did I correct it too?
Yes, yeah. All right. So look, I thought that you suggested. I think should we play? I have two versions of this. Should we play Rum and Coca-Cola by the Andrews Sisters or Bongo Bongo Bongo? I Don't Want to Leave the Jungle. It's your call, Mr. James Quinn.
Oh, I'd love to hear Rum and Coca-Cola.
Because we might have a little Mount Gay rum and Coca-Cola. So, Peter, that's the second song. Did you notice that there?
Yep.
We're going to play. This is Andrew's Sisters' version of a. This song was not from Puerto Rico. It's probably from down in the island someplace. Rum and Coca-Cola, and we'll be. I'm going to go and get the ice for our drinks, Jim.
Please do.
All right, and I'll see you in a bit.
If you ever go down Trinidad, they make you feel so very glad. Calypso sing and make up rhyme, guarantee you one real good fine time. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. Oh, beat it, man, beat it. Since the Yankee come to Trinidad, they got the young girls all going mad. Young girls say they treat 'em nice, make Trinidad like paradise. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. Oh, you vex me, you vex me. From Chickachickarry to Mona's Isle, native girls all dance and smile. Help soldier celebrate his leave, make every day like New Year's Eve. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. It's a fact, man, it's a fact. In old Trinidad I also fear the situation is mighty queer. Like the Yankee girl, the native swoon when she heard her bingle croon. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. Out on Manzanella Beach, GI romance with native peach. All night long make tropic love, next day sit in hot sun and cool off. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. It's a fact, man, it's a fact. Rum and Coca-Cola, rum and Coca-Cola.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, June 2nd, 2020 and counting, and we are with the man who puts bon in bon vivant.
Hey, Bob, all this talk about hair cutting, I have a simple solution for that.
Yes, what is it? Oh, here, if I lean close. Oh,
that's how I look neat and clean.
No. Hey, Jim Quinn is here with us today. We are direct from Kent, Connecticut. And Jim, I got to say, you were worried about your hair. You had a haircut. It is charming, if that's a word for a haircut.
Why, thank you. I'll let my barber know.
Oh,
It's, look, I'm lucky. I got a lot of hair, okay? I'm an old guy. I got a lot of hair. The haircut went, Michael knew what he was doing a little bit. He was flipping and all of that. And it wasn't quite right. And the impetuous Jim, when he finished, I said, give me that. And I went, it's got it shorter. We had a lot of repairing to do. But, yeah, that's life here. The yin and the yang, the careful, the violent, the wild, restless.
Yeah. I am definitely going to do something. And next week, tune in and you'll see what I'm going to do. I don't know. And, this is the problem when you're losing your hair. And I know it doesn't look like I'm losing my hair, but I am losing my hair. See, look at that. I'm beginning to look like, who do I look like? Walter Pigeon, speaking of birds? I don't know. So, at any rate, enough about me. Enough about my hair.
Yes, I am not losing my hair, but everything beneath the mind is the saddest thing to know. I'll have this hair and be walking around drooling, somewhere 14th Street when we ever can get back into
You'll
that.
always have your hair we'll always have Paris. You'll always have your hair.
We'll always have Paris? Is that what the pirate said to his
There's a
girlfriend?
song, something about we'll always have Paris or something, or we'll always have Italy, we'll always have Rome. Memories
I thought you meant parrots that sit on your shoulder, like if you're a pirate.
We'll always have those too.
We'll always have those, especially.
We'll always have parrots. Yeah, it's exactly right. I think we need a drink, don't you?
Well, I want to say something about your invitation to come back today, polite and generous, and a little more difficult than it was the last time at 6 a.m. But, we get older. That, you asked me to come and talk a little bit about cocktails, which is my favorite subject. Cocktail parties, which I think I've become a master at, Michael and I. But I want to state first that I come by this legitimately. I have a bit of family history. Did you know that my grandfather on the Quinn side ran a tavern in Hartford, Connecticut?
No, Jim Quinn. Was it you?
His name was Charlie Quinn. And the only
Charlie Quinn
I
ran
never met him. He was long gone to his eternal reward before I was born. But the photographs I've seen of him show him either in his fireman regalia, Irish fireman, or tavern regalia. I know very little about the tavern, except there is a family story about the horse in the tavern. None of those uncles or aunts are left now for me to verify that story, but this is one of the stories handed down to me. Anyway, Charlie Quinn, a tavern somewhere in the south end of Hartford, 1930s or so. And what I think Charlie and bequeathed to his 6 kids.
Six kids. What?
A love of and an ability to make drinks. I learned to make my first cocktail while safely underage, maybe 15 or so, from my Aunt Kit, Catherine
Really?
Quinn. Yes.
I remember her. Yes.
You want to know what that cocktail was?
Could it have been a rum and Coca-Cola?
It was a real cocktail, okay? Not just a swizzle stick mixer for a, junior prom or
Okay.
something.
Oh, I know what it is. It was. It was an old fashioned.
It was a sidecar.
God, she was before her time.
No. But it's good that you mentioned time. Cocktails made a comeback after Prohibition. Cocktails really had their golden years. The golden age of a cocktail is the late 19th century in the US. Previous to that, the idea of drinking, the idea of drinking was always there. From the time that first piece of yeast met that first licking good sugar, whether it was a sugar of a fruit or a sugar, it was a love story. Yeast really is the staff of life. Yeast is the only and the first single-celled organism that gave us, I got to read my note right here because it did things that knocked me out. It is able to preserve food, make bread rise, and ferment drinks. Now, an organism like that to preserve food necessary, in those developing civilizations,
right?
Make bread rise. We call bread the staff of life. You don't have yeast okay, you can have the matzah, the unleavened bread. Okay, Old Testament, yes, we can have that. And it gave us drinks. It gave us fermented drinks. And as a matter of fact, it's the fermentation with whatever you add to the yeast, whether it's grapes, whether it's wheat, whether it's rye, fruit, whatever you're fermenting, it's the yeast that gives out pure ethyl alcohol and another product which is very good for beer. But that ethyl alcohol, which is a byproduct of the yeast eating the sugar, it discharges it. It's a waste. Ethyl alcohol, ethanol, is a waste from the sugar, the yeast organism eating the sugar. Okay, he's loving the sugar. His waste is pure ethyl alcohol, and when enough of it is released from the yeast cell, it kills him. Yeast cannot exist in too high a content of ethyl alcohol. So basically, those yeast cells give up their life so we can have a glass of wine, a big beer, or a lovely contemporary crafted alcohol. Think about that the next time you hoist one.
Unbelievable. In other words, we really got to thank our yeast.
Our yeast, yeah.
Yeah. Where do I pick up one? Because I can't find any in the supermarket lately.
There was a run on yeast at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
At the beginning of, there was really, we had to get yeast from, we got a private delivery of yeast from Sarah Karnasevich down in Southbury, who's a cookbook author and a well-known cook and a niece of mine, and she was baking a lot of recipes. So she had a stash of yeast, and we're lucky here. We're really lucky.
Oh my God, you sure are. You sure are. So this, incidentally, we got to have Sarah on our show. Sarah is a crackerjack, and she's a writer. She has a blog, and doesn't she work for the Wall Street Journal or write for the Wall Street Journal?
She's freelancing these days. Yeah, she's she's worked for some of those online cooks, Paula, what's her name, and
right, Real Living. She was
on.
on.
I'm talking about Sarah. So if you're listening, please forgive me for getting some of your. She worked for Slate also. She worked for Savoir, the magazine. She's a writer,
Right.
basically a food writer. She's edited and published cookbooks, most recently a baking cookbook for favorite recipes of children. She had the wonderful front page piece on the Wall Street Journal about a month ago. What to do with kids during
the coronavirus.
Actually interviewed with young people, what they really wanted to do during the time that they're stuck indoors with their online courses. So
I've watched this little girl grow up,
and Sarah's mother actually delivered us raspberry cobbler, blueberry turnovers. What was the other thing we got on Sunday? Fish. All right, smoked fish. Sarah did not smoke the fish, but we are really getting wonderful baked goods from her. So
unbelievable.
Yeah.
We got it. You got to arrange. Okay. So, all right. Now, cocktails. Where does that name come from? Cocktails.
You're going to have to help me on that one. It's not part of my repertoire right now.
I have no idea. We've got to. This is a question for us to find out why it's
I'm
called.
sure someone knows. Someone in your audience will tell us.
I have a book here, the book of little book of answers that I use sometimes on the show. I've got to find that out, and maybe it's in here. I'll look through a break, but at any rate, so Jim.
Well, Bob, speaking, I was taking us back to the creation of the alcohol process.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's interesting about how a cocktail or a cult of cocktail, that's calling it too much, mixing different alcohols to make a particularly tasty and powerful punch, a drink, came to be. A lot of it had to do with getting out of the house to eat and to drink. And that pretty much did not happen. Before the beginning of the 19th century, the only places that were licensed to sell food were inns. Restaurants were not a common thing, okay? Whether you're in Europe or in the burgeoning,
America,
almost United States of America in the late 18th century, there were inns, and you could have supper there as you travel. They also had licenses to sell liquor, but there were no such thing as bars. There was that was the only kind of place besides home where you could, you have your still, or you have the local winemaker, or you have the local beer and ale maker and stuff like that. Also, at least in this country, alcohol was one of the things, fermented alcohol that we drink was one of the things that was most heavily taxed by the British. So it was, if we weren't producing our own here, and it was up and coming country, that was certainly as bad as tea for the colonists, because much of our liquor then did come from abroad. The wine, we we started tobacco plantations, then we had the Puritans up in Boston, and so they were fermenting wine. We got a lot of that stuff, trade with the European nations and so on.
Right.
After the war, after the Revolutionary War, a lot of those taxes were abolished. Of course, we had no other place taxing us. We had our own thing, and we enacted laws that allowed for. Was a really interesting thing here. 1832, the Pioneer Inns and Tavern Law created a type of license that allowed inns to serve alcoholic beverages without being required to lease rooms. The Pioneer Inns and Taverns Law, federal law, 1832, U.S. of A. You could serve an alcoholic beverage without renting a room. Suddenly,
really? It's usually in reverse. I think you have a beverage and then you rent a room.
Yes, I mean we've become accustomed to restaurants and bars. Bars are like the lifeblood. We gather there. They're convivial, but n'existe pas until well, the 1830s. Began to have a place that you could buy a drink, food too, without a room. So it's a new business. It's a completely new business, and it's a new job. In comes the barman, the bartender.
Yeah.
All right. And, from literature to TV shows to whatever, he has become a stock character. He and now she, of course. But the barman is the one who is going to make the deals with the customers, create the drinks, make conviviality, and so on. And along the way, of course, the barman wanted to show off his skills, and that's where we get some, cocktails. I don't know where the name came from, but I hope during the break you can find that for us too. That'd be cool to know.
Yeah. So these guys, the signature cocktails. I mean, like for instance, I think now there are all kinds of concoctions, right? All kinds. But there were only when I grew up, I remember the martini, the Manhattan, and the old fashioned. And then I'll have a, what do you call that ginger ale, and it's just a mix. I mean ginger. I'll have ginger
A
highball.
ginger.
Highballs. Yeah, highballs are different than cocktails. Yeah.
I'll tell you my take on that stuff.
Yeah.
Cocktails, and what we think of as fancy cocktails. A little bit of the sweet, a little bit of the sour, a little bit of the bitter, either stirred with ice, shaken with ice. They were the thing in the 1840s, 50s, and especially the 1870s. There are cocktail books written in the 1880s. One of the first well-known bartenders had a hotel, Jerry Thomas. And I don't have a note here to tell me where, but I know where that hotel was in New York. It was on somewhere near Union Square. But
in New York City.
In New York City, yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's the area I know well. I'm sure this is going on in New Orleans too. But Jerry Thomas published in the 1880s a cocktail handbook, as did I'm looking here of Harry Johnson's Bartender's Manual, 1888. He was how to tend a bar. This was big business in a big city in the 1870s, 80s, 90s. But, you and I still, back in the 1960s and 1950s, we're going to college and stuff. And, I feel privileged that I learned to make a sidecar, but we were drinking, rum and Coca-Cola, rye and ginger, wrapping those beers.
Yeah.
Why?
You actually, Jim, you were the one.
Prohibition.
Prohibition.
Two generations of Americans had no idea. Well, I shouldn't say had no idea. It was handed down to them by their families. They could mix a cocktail. But the whole idea of drinking in a bar became underground, controlled by illegal people. I don't want to mention any ethnic category.
Yeah, sure.
But
sure.
Mafia was right in there. And the trade of a barman became the opposite of what it was. You were doing something illegal. So publishing a bartending manual is not something you're going to do. Barmen then, kept the door at speakeasies and stuff. And basically the craft of bartending took a nosedive in terms of caring about it or anything. There was not much going on. If you got that awful bathtub gin, watch out. Some of it could be poorly distilled, and it could kill you.
Could kill you, yeah.
And there were people making a lot of money out of bringing in the hooch from the islands, and they came,
sure,
Caribbean islands on boats, from Italy and England and stuff like that. But we had two generations of people who could not legally buy a bottle, buy a drink, buy a bar. Most of the states, many of our states, prohibition became a federal law in 1919. Many of our states already had enacted prohibition laws by 1912, before the World War. So almost by the beginning of the century, there was this, you put an adjective to it.
Temperance union.
Political move towards temperance. I mean, that's the fair word for it, temperance.
Yeah. And so
it was a colossal failure, of course. Thank God. And
thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. So after the war, then, after
ended in 1933,
then suddenly there is this need for bartenders to make lovely drinks and stuff.
Well, I don't know whether you say there was a need, but the profession came back legally and professionally, so you could do it out in the open and say, here, look what I've got. And there was a slow development of, like you say, the classic cocktails were again. But when you see somebody like on television showing the milieu of a restaurant or a bar in the 1950s, they're drinking martinis. They're drinking martinis. They're drinking Manhattans and old fashions. There were recipes there, but it wasn't something that everyone was doing. And it began to be more of a thing. I always associated with in the 70s when the food, I don't know what to call it, but when we began to look at the food we ate that was mostly after the war frozen and meat and potatoes, but to look to other countries and, nouvelle cuisine with France.
Sure.
Millions of possibilities you have with pasta in Italy, vegetables, and lots of things. There was a renaissance of food preparation, food thought in the 70s and 80s, and till today. Along with that, I believe people began to look more to, hey, here are these cocktail recipes from 1912. The Martinez, the bee's knees. These are old drinks. They've been around as recipes since the 19th century.
Sure. They didn't have sex on the beach, did they? Or fuzzy navels?
I've heard at Coney Island it was a nightly occurrence. Well, if
honest to God,
certainly
really. You know what? I'm dying to make a drink. Now you've got, I'm really dying to make a drink. So I think we ought to play. Why don't we have cocktails for two? And you know this? Why don't we play Spike Jones cocktails?
Spike Jones. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll stand back.
Have you ever heard of this one, Peter? Cocktails for two.
I believe so, but
you got to listen to this, everybody. This is it goes someplace you won't believe. Cocktails for two, the Spike Jones Orchestra, and then James and I will make cocktails for three or two. And I've got my specimen jar here. I got to use that in some way or whatever. All right, back to Spike Jones, cocktails for two.
What's he like to be given the right to be carefree and gay once again? No longer slinking, respectably drinking like civilized ladies and men.
No longer need we miss a charming scene like this in some secluded rendezvous that overlooks the avenue with someone sharing a delight. Chat, this and that, and cocktails for two as we enjoy a cigarette to some exquisite chansonette, Two hands are sure to slyly meet beneath a serviette with cocktails for two. My head may go reeling, but my heart will be obedient, with intoxicating kisses for the principal ingredient. Most any afternoon at 5, we'll be so glad we're both alive. Then maybe fortune will complete her plan that all began with cocktails for two. Most any afternoon at 5, we'll be so glad we're both alive. Then maybe fortune will complete her plan that all began with cocktails for
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Underwriting is brought to you by Boise Cascade Distribution, providing products and services needed for building material dealers, home improvement centers, and industrial customers. They offer everything from engineered wood and plywood to Drex decking and railing, James Hardy siding, and Advantech subfloor. Located at 33 Fowler Street Extension in Westfield and on the web at bc.com, they are committed to providing quality products, great service, convenience, and value.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
I did
it! Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020 and counting, and Peter Coles is the kitten of the keys, meow, right there behind the board, and down below me, right there, hiya, Peter, and we have the bon vivant man in the world, direct from Kent, Connecticut, is Jim Quinn. Jim, I found that you're not going to believe this, and I don't know whether I can, I'll try to make it short here. The cocktail has something to do with a horse. Did you know that?
Well, my research assistant just gave me the same manure, but go ahead.
It's okay. Apparently, they used to call cocktail horses were horses. It was customary to dock the tails of horses that were not thoroughbred. They were called cocktailed horses, later simply cocktails. By extension, the word cocktail was applied to a vulgar, ill-bred person raised above his station, assuming the position of a gentleman, but deficient in gentlemanly breeding. That's me. Of importance is the mention of water as an ingredient. Laughter concluded, this man concluded, that cocktail was an acceptable alcoholic drink, but diluted, not a purebred drink, a thing raised above its station. But here's the one that in a book called Imbibe in 2007, this author says, he speculates that a cocktail is a reference to a practice for perking up an old horse by means of a ginger suppository. So the animal would, quote unquote, cock its tail up and be frisky. I ginger
Uh-huh.
suppositories and horses. How do you like that? Did you get a different one?
Etymology disputed.
Oh,
But the cocktail of the horse, I like, it may be completely
but the tail,
apart from the story
yeah, the
about
tail kind of goes up when you have a drink. You kind of go, "Whoo!" I get frisky, like a horse. No, all right.
I don't know, try to sell that in a bar next time you're there. One thing is indisputable, and you hit it there. To have a cocktail, you have to have more than spirits. You must have water, spirits, sugar, and bitters. The sugar takes many forms, but spirits um, and bitters. Bitters very important because while it does have an alcoholic content, it was sold as a medicinal thing. Like it has alcohol in the same way vanilla extract has alcohol.
Right. Yeah.
The bitters came in a great variety of tastes, and they were for the digestion. But
And it was not considered an alcoholic drink back then.
Right, exactly.
It was medicine.
It was medicine. And for a long time in the 18th century, drinks like that could be sold not as alcohol when couldn't sell them in places. There were no licenses to do that except inns and taverns. So you could get a prescription, basically. And that was a thriving trade too. I have no details, but the bitters made it not something that was illegal, but something that was helpful. And it includes spirits. And to this day, the spirit and I would say the water are essential ingredients.
Well, would the water be ice cubes? I mean, could the water just be ice cubes?
Yeah, most drinks are best served very, very cold, but not. The ice cube is doing a job that's not merely chilling the drink.
What is it?
To dilute the pure spirit too. I mean, ice is an essential drink of a martini. You've got those 7 or 8 ice cubes in there, and you are swirling them for a minute. You are not just drinking an ounce and a half of gin. It changes the taste. It changes the texture. I can give you an example of a mishap of mine. One of the big parties we threw when I don't think it was I think it was Michael's 50th birthday. We had a little. We rented a little, a very nice room down in Tribeca somewhere, and it was, it's going to be some music. But I insisted always when I did parties like that we did not need their staff, that we would bring our own cocktails. And I found, sort of like cooking with Michael, nobody does it better. We don't go to restaurants so much. Drinks, there's a few people that make them as well.
Oh, man.
Imaginatively as I must say.
Yes, your parties with your drinks.
We put together, in vats, what we would need for a party of 50 or 60 people. I think we were serving, was summertime, we were serving margaritas and another fruity drink like that, okay? So we had the vats with the little spigots, and we brought them down and we gave instructions to the staff who were going to pour them for the guests. We were seeing to the buffet over here that we had prepared as well, and given a play card to the musicians, but the staff poured the drinks straight out of the vats where they had been mixed. And it's my fault for not saying these must be put on ice and shaken. If you want to do it in a big bottle, you want to do it in a thing, but they poured them right out. Many of the people we expected to meet for brunch the next morning who came into town from around could not show up, my son included. Where are you, Jimmy? I can't move. I'm in the shower. 3 or 4 of those drinks, way too much alcohol per drink. Water is, in the form of ice, very important to a drink.
And a body can only absorb a shot of alcohol per hour, believe it or not. So if your drink has more than one shot, you're testing your metabolism. But
Bob, that's interesting because a basic cocktail is going to contain 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of spirit. In other words, alcohol.
Yes.
Mixed with what you choose. You know, whether it's a fruit juice and a simple syrup, a cordial with alcohol and a simple syrup, and so on. A bitters, but it's ounce, 1.5 ounces. And if it ever comes in handy, I have the formula when you're preparing for a party. And cocktail parties, they need to be carefully prepared for. Because they have a nature all their own. It's not the guys hanging out together drinking beer. It's not guys and girls cooking and drinking wine or playing cards in the highball, which is just basically liquor in a mixer, spirits in a mixer. Is that what you call that, Michael? The highball. Highball's definition is just spirits and some mixture like ginger ale or rum and Coca-Cola. That's it. That could be a highball.
Rum and Coca-Cola.
But you mentioned the 1.5 ounce test the system. When you throw a cocktail party, the formula that I have brought to me from a bunch of sources, and I've tried out now, here are 7 cocktail party cards I have from different years when it has my menu on it there. But you need 2 drinks per person for the first hour and 1 drink per person for the ensuing hours. Let's say you throw a 3-hour cocktail party. You have 20 people. That's small for a cocktail party. I urge people to try to squeeze more people in, but 20 people. So that's 40 drinks you need to be prepared for the first hour, and then 20 more for the second, 20 more for the third. 3 hours for a cocktail party is plenty. I think the cocktail party needs to be very, very clear with its guests that you're getting them in, you're giving them a good time, you're giving them a mix of interesting, energetic, fun people. Your invitation list is essential. As important ingredient as the booze you put together, and you're giving them some strong drink, and then you are sending them out to go to dinner or to have fun. I mean, a cocktail party is afterward. A cocktail party is a couple of hours.
It is not a full night. Let's come at 5 and leave at 11.
Right. Perhaps, I mean, if somebody's at my house from 5 to 11, I feel as a host, I better serve them dinner. I better serve them something, right? And if there's 4 people there, there are formulas for hors d'oeuvres too, but
Jim, would you automatically assume with cocktails that is it the host's responsibility to have something to soak up the alcohol? I mean, somebody said you need have a little food. You got to soak up that alcohol.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's in the nature. You're hungry after work. You want a little snack. You want a little. What's the Ogden Nash poem about the martini? There's something about a martini, a tingle remarkably pleasant, a yellow. By the way, that's the bitter. A mellow martini. I wish I had one at present. There's something about a martini ere the dining and dancing begin. And to tell you the truth, it's not the vermouth. I think perhaps it's the gin. Sorry for stumbling over that. But the phrase I want to call your attention to is ere the dining and dancing begin. Cocktails are a pre-dinner treat.
Gotcha. And how do you get rid of people after they've had a couple of drinks?
Funny you should ask, because you do have to take the first few times that we had a big enough space in the city to have a really big cocktail party. Number one, on the invitation, it's very clear: 6 to 8, 6 to 9, 6:30 to 8:30. All right, they read it. They still come, and some of them, I was working late. It's almost 8 o'clock. All right, here's your drink.
You have 10 minutes to drink it, and then see you next
time. Try
time.
not to be as rude as that, but you get a few ringers. You have a few good friends who know enough to set the example and lead. What I've had to do, what Michael and I've had to do a number of times, when as we threw the net wider and brought in more people, was bid a fond for farewell to several guests who were still there while the bartender was putting the bottles away and cleaning up. You know, they're still out there. We left and went to dinner. We said, "You're on your own. We're closing. The bar's closed. We're going to dinner." We go out to dinner. We're not going to sit home and clean up right then. And it shows them, the hosts are going out, you know. Take a few people with you and have a reservation at the local seafood place, you know, or
Yeah, or don't have a reservation. Just leave the apartment or the house for a certain 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. That'll clear them up.
There. They're not leaving so long, you know. The bar is closed. But
so you get your coat on, you get the hood up, you say, "Folks, it's time. I have a good time, but your hosts are now, we're going off. We're going to have our sandwich down the street and have a good time."
Yeah, we have
and then they're going to feel all guilty.
We're going. Would you like to come with us? We're going to, you know, that kind of thing.
I get it.
Be cordial. Also, it's not only the drinks are important. Most cocktail parties, you're going to have some non-drinkers. You know, you have interesting, fascinating friends and neighbors that you want to invite, and they don't particularly drink alcohol. Others, for whatever reason, like to stick to the vino. And you could have beer too. A formula that gets me through these parties is because they are advertised as cocktail parties, and people know there's going to be some interesting and strong drink, and it's going to, you know, that's the focus. But 60% cocktails, 20 to 30% wine, and then you've got to have some non-alcoholic punch around. You know, jazz it up like a sangria without, you know, without liquor in it and stuff.
Sure.
So that everybody's going to have what they want. They know where it is too. Getting a cocktail party to work means not letting people sit down. You get people sitting down, they don't move from the company.
Oh my God, you are absolutely right. There's nothing worse than that, because you don't feel the opportunity that you could get up and go and talk to that other person. And I might be stuck sitting next to somebody that I don't want to be there for 3 hours. I've got 5 seconds of conversation, and I got to leave.
Solution: get rid of your chairs. I mean, you can have your living room with maybe 2 easy chairs and a love seat, a couch, whatever, and a nice cocktail table. Keep some food around, stations, so that people can get them. Be sure you have plates so they can put them on and they're not leaning over the table. They can take them back. But put food in another room. Put it in where you have the bar. If you happen to have a second bedroom that you use as a lounge or TV room or something, get some chairs in there. Put your interesting thing of nuts and mini quiches or whatever you're doing for hors d'oeuvres, salsa and chips. Put them in there. Get the people moving around. Don't give them enough chairs. Have more chairs than people. And if, you know, once in a while you get a stick in the mud and you want to be charming, say, "Maria, please come in with me. I want to show you something." And then get somebody to take her goddamn seat so she can't flop her ass back and just sit there and hold off like a queen all after.
Yeah.
You gotta work on it.
I love it. I love it. Hey, you won't believe this. It's 7:57. We've got only like 3 minutes left. Do you believe this?
You know what my brother says about me, Bob?
What?
That's my brother Jim. He could talk a dog down off a meat truck, you know.
No. You are, no. I love having you on, and I can't wait for. All right, so
this is far more entertaining than Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest.
Thank you. You're a sweetheart.
It's true.
That's not good.
Yeah. Which one is Ryan Seacrest here? I guess I'm the Ryan Seacrest in this situation, and you must be the beautiful Kelly Ripa.
I'll do anything to get to share a Zoom screen with you, distinguished gentlemen.
Hey, I can't wait to see you in person for one. secondly, I can't wait to have. Now I'm going to make a queen bee. You gave me this recipe for queen bee. You tell quickly, everybody, because I've got Jessica Martin's honey here,
Okay.
and I've also got the gin, and what else do I need? Oh, and Cointreau. Okay, I've got gin, Cointreau, and honey.
Right. You're making a drink which is a derivation of a classic called Bee's Knees, which is basically gin, honey syrup. Okay, honey syrup. Whatever you take, whatever honey you've got to dilute it half with water. So you've got a honey syrup. Yeah, gin, honey syrup, and fresh lemon juice. If you want to add a little Cointreau, a little orange liqueur, that fancies it up too. But basically, it's gin, ounce and a half of gin, honey syrup,
That's made with water,
and
honey
an
and
ounce
water.
and an ounce of lemon juice.
Cointreau.
All right, always something sweet and then sour. All right, so the honey
Sweet
syrup,
and sour.
Yeah.
That's sort of like
You
that's.
put some grapefruit bitters in there. You might put some orange bitters in there, but put some bitters of some kind in there. That cocktail classically is shaken and served in a cocktail glass.
Oh, a cocktail glass. Okay.
By the way, these are called cocktail glasses, not martini glasses, cocktail glasses.
How is this? Is that a good one?
Well, it's not a cocktail glass, but it'll do for your circumstances. Sure.
All right.
We're
Yeah.
not
And,
fussy here.
no, I might even serve it in my wild cup. Yeah. Hey, so look at Jim. I love you. Give my best to your producer down there. We're going to see you the first Tuesday in July.
Yep.
And
I look forward to it.
we'll
we can celebrate the holiday.
Huh?
Oh, it'll be right after July 4th then.
It will be right after July 4th.
So maybe we'll have a little pink on our cheeks by then.
I hope so. I got to
I'm pretty
do
good
something.
now. Florida was nice to me.
Look
Yeah,
at you do.
I noticed that. You did have a fine flush.
If you look on the Channel 15 Facebook page, you'll see why we were down there. We covered the rocket launch.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Hey, everybody, WestfieldOnWeekends.com. Could become a Facebook friend. Jim Quinn, I love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank
And Peter, I'm going to play a song to take us out here. What do we got there for that final song?
I don't know. You tell me, Bob.
Oh,
you have
all
like
right.
a million. You have so many songs on possibilities. Look at all the different songs he gives me. Oh, these are all possibilities to play.
Yeah, I know it. Well, I'm terrible. You know what I'm going to do? I think we'll play the AJR song. AJR is an indie band that I heard on a television show the other day.
You want to go out with a bang?
Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to go out with a bang. This song is called Bang. And is there a drink called Bang? Oh, all right. Jim is there is a.
He's calling No Mas, Bob. It's called No Mas at this point.
No Mas. All righty. Hey, everybody. Stay safe. Yes. And I will see you next time. Jim, I'll see you. Who's that?
It's me.
Who is that?
It's me. His bohemian days were far behind him.
See you next time. And everybody, get out there and donate. Community Foundation Corp has a wonderful coronavirus. Get out there and donate, and we'll see you soon. Be safe.
I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around. And the rumpus and ruckus are comfortable now. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow. So I got an apartment across from the park. Put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling grown. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to go.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang, let's go out with a bang. I'm way too young to lie here forever Let's go out with a bang. Feel like I'm gonna puke, cause my taxes are due. Do my password begin with a 1 or a 2? Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow.
Metronome.
Man, I'm up to something. Ooh-dee-la-dee-do, thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show, cause it's on a budget. So ooh-dee-la-dee-do, yeah. Come on, here we go, yeah. Come on.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang. Let's go out with a bang. I'm way too young to lie here forever. I'm way too old to try, so whatever, come hang. Let's go out with a bang. And I have it right, but I'm thinking it's time to go. So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang. Let's go out with a bang.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang. Let's go out with a bang. I'm way too young to lie here forever. I'm way too old to try, so whatever, come hang. Let's go out with a bang.
Here we go.